In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how you can stack monthly recurring revenue inside your coaching or consulting business. And if you stick with me till the end, we're also going to cover how you can turn one offer into 3 so that you can build a really diversified portfolio of recurring income streams and increase that amount of money that you've got locked in at the start of each month. What I see is once people start making money online, they move from wanting to just hit a target at the end of the month to actually wanting that locked in at the start of the month, so that when the first arrives, you've got 10, 20, 30, 40,000 already queued up and already locked in deals for the month ahead. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover in this video. Before we dive into it, if you haven't already subscribed, click that big red button and do that. Give this video a like if you get any value from it. And if you want to know more about what we do, head to www.jacobcaris.com. There'll be a link in the description, and you can learn about how we help people build up leverage consulting businesses in that $100,000 a year to $1 million a year range. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about monthly recurring revenue. Okay, now we have a lot of different strategies and tactics that we help our clients implement when it comes to building up recurring income. What I want to talk to you about particularly in today's video is back-end recurring income. Okay, so this is typically going to be a program, which we'll talk about how to structure that up in a second, that you put on the back end of your business. And when I say the back end, what I mean is that there's typically going to be one or a couple of offers in your ecosystem that sit in front of it. Okay, now that's not to say that someone can't watch a video of yours or read a post on Facebook or read an email and join your back-end offer directly. Totally fine. But typically what people will do is they'll have a couple of front-end offers that ultimately generate them buyers, generate them cash flow, give people a bit of a taste for how they do things and their methodologies and their style, and then they can ascend people from those front-end offers into the back end. Okay. Now, we started building this into my business about 18 to 20 or so months ago, and it's been a really, really interesting journey, and I've learned a lot, and it's also now something that we help our clients with. What I thought before I went and implemented this in my own business was, in order to be charging, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month per client, you needed to be doing really, really extravagant stuff. And that's just not the reality. If you've got a really strong relationship with the people in your audience, if they've potentially been through a front end offer and got really, really good results, that ascension to the back end can be really, really simple. What really drives it is your ability to lead a group of people and help them overcome one or a couple of core challenges in their business, okay, or in their life, depending on what it is that you ultimately sell. So what we're really talking about here is structuring up a program on the back end that you can sell for $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, potentially more per client. And so you can see, once you start getting into charging those prices, that you can stack up recurring revenue on the back end of the business quite quickly. Things can get really, really cool when you pair that with recurring income strategies on the front end as well, but we'll keep that for another day. Okay, so I want to talk to you about a little bit about how we structure these up, and then I want to talk to you about how you can take one core offer and turn it into 2 or 3 on the back end, so that you're actually diversifying the income streams, and you can do it without actually going out and needing to build any more different programs or different courses and stuff like that. Okay, so here's what I'd recommend. If you, on the front end of your coaching or consulting business, or even a course business, and you do it with a personal brand, what most people have right on the front end is they're creating content, right? They're doing YouTube, they're doing short form videos, pretty hot right now. They might have a Facebook group, they've got their Facebook profile, Instagram, email list. They're distributing content to communicate with the audience. Okay, most people have that pretty standard. Then most people will also have some type of front end offering. Okay, and so this could be lower ticket, it could be a high ticket, depending on your overall structure. It could be somewhere in the middle, but it's typically something that gets people into your world, and it shows you who's just there for free stuff and who wants to buy things, right? Essentially separates people into those two crowds. What I would recommend, if you want to restructure your back end to be able to stack up this monthly recurring revenue like we're talking about, or you don't have a back end and you want to put one in place, here is what I would recommend. All that stuff that you've got on the front end, be it offers, be it free content, whatever, I would recommend that you have all roads lead to a single point on the back end. Okay, now you can filter people through an application process if you want to really qualify people out. You can sell it on the phone. We sell it just via chat in the DMs with like Google Docs and PDFs, and I've got other videos on my channel about how we do that. But what I would recommend is that all that other stuff you've got on the front end of your business, ultimately consolidate it up to one point. What's happening there is all the energy and all the traffic flow and the attention flow and the buyer flow is then ultimately pushing to one point, okay? And you can either use inbound marketing, outbound marketing, or a combination of both to cherry pick all the people from that ecosystem and all the people from that world, be they free content consumers or if they're buyers on the front end, and you can cherry pick and invite them up to the back end offer. Okay, so that's kind of structurally what I would recommend. In terms of that foundational back-end offer, there's a couple of key components that I would recommend that you have in place, okay? And just to give you some kind of real world comparison, the equivalent to that offer in my business is my inner circle, okay? If you go to jacobcaris.com, you'll see a place where you can apply to join my inner circle. That's the equivalent in my business structure and in my business ecosystem, just to give you guys some, some context and some clarity. Within that fundamental or that foundational back-end program, which we're gonna take to a new level in a second, I would recommend that you have some combination of a few different things, okay? The first one is I would recommend you have some type of community element, okay? By having a community element, it means you can bring a group of people together, however big or small, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, however many people you want to work with, and you can bring them all together in one place, and you can answer questions with leverage, right? So people post all their questions in the group, you answer them in the group. A couple of things happen here. One, if you've got other people in there who have different areas of expertise, they can chime in. Like I've got people in my inner circle who are specialists at things that I'm not, so they can give advice, which creates more value for the overall community. Two, if you're answering one question for somebody, other people can get value from you answering that question. You don't have to answer it over and over again. And it can also create some really good relationships and some really good networking opportunities. So community is the first thing that I would recommend, okay? The second element that I would recommend is some form of coaching, okay? Now, in a leverage type offer like this, I'm gonna recommend that you do a weekly group call. Okay, this couldn't just be done over Zoom. Pick a time every week, show up. The people in the group can come, or a subset of them can come, because not everyone's going to show up every week. And you can either do just a Q&A style, or you can deliver a training on a particular topic based on questions people have been asking, based on something you're seeing in the market, based on something new that you've figured out or developed, and you can present that to your people. Then you can field questions on that, or just do general Q&A. The point is to have a place each week, a place and a time each week where you come face to face with people and help them overcome their challenges, or help them through any roadblocks that they're facing, help them brainstorm and strategize, right? We do these on a Thursday morning for me, Wednesday night for most folks, because they're typically in the Northern Hemisphere. And the way we structure it up is we'll jump on the call, everybody will share their wins, gets the call started on a really good note, the cool stuff that's happening. Then I'll typically dive into a topic of the week. Sometimes that'll be a short presentation where I'm just talking. Sometimes I'll have materials and resources, depending on what's been happening. And then that'll flow into a discussion around that topic, which will then ultimately lead into an open-ended Q&A. Sometimes those calls go for 90 minutes, sometimes they go for 2 hours, sometimes they go for 3 hours if we're really going deep on a certain topic. But we meet each and every week, and people can show up, and we don't leave until everyone's got their questions answered and everyone's good to go for the upcoming week. So that's the second piece that I'd recommend that you have, is some type of coaching element like that. All right. The third thing is a curriculum. Okay, so this is going to be a core curriculum. It doesn't have to be like a perfect A to Z where it's like click here, click there. You can have that if you want, but something that is kind of the fundamental process that you and the other people in the community are going to work through together, okay? So the core thing that I help my inner circle members with is build out what we call their signature offer, which is a 5K to 50K offer that they can sell in the DMs without strategy calls. Then we work on creating content to pre-sell and effectively sell that offer in the DMs. And then we run campaigns. We run campaigns to extract buyers from their audience, to generate cash flow, and then to send people up to their signature offer. So within our inner circle, I have something called my brand monetization playbook, right? And that has all the training and the resources to help people work through that. And then the community and the weekly calls are there to supplement that, okay? They're gonna be your 3 kind of fundamental pieces to creating that first layer of the back end leverage coaching or consulting offer. Okay, a couple of other additional bonus things if you want to include them. You could include some form of accountability where you stay in touch with people directly, or you have someone on your team do it. You could have a group chat where everyone can kind of communicate more in real time. You could do some aspect of one-to-one. So whenever someone joins the inner circle, I'll do a one-to-one call with them. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure I fully understand their business. which gives me context for our time together in the program. And I'll help them map out a custom strategy so that then they can take the core curriculum and deploy it with that custom plan in place. So it's really tailored to the individual. Okay, so there's a couple of bonus things that you can include. But fundamentally, that's going to be the structure of the core backend program. Okay, now here's where we can make things really interesting. You can take that same core program and you can add layers behind it so that you can charge more and so that you can work more closely with certain people. Okay, what we do with the Inner Circle, just to give you guys a real world example, and you can go and take this and use it if you want. I have one level above it called Elite, and that is essentially the Inner Circle, plus people can contact me via a private Slack thread and we can chat one-to-one between calls and I can answer any of their questions directly, okay? Some people want that type of support. Some people are happy with the group. Obviously, there's a higher cost because it involves my time directly. So that's the next level up. And all we're really adding on is chat support. Then I have another level above that called Platinum, and that's effectively taking the level before and adding on bi-weekly one-to-one calls. So for people who want to be able to jump on the phone with me every couple of weeks, review strategy and have me review copy and offers and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot more hands-on. So again, it's more expensive. But what we've just done is we've taken one foundational back-end offer and converted it into 3 back-end offers. So now we can build out 3 monthly recurring income streams with only needing to have one core program, okay? And like I said, it's really fun and it's really simple when everything on the front end ultimately feeds that. Once you've got this structure in place, you can just go about building your front end ecosystem and your front end offers to try and find the very, very best people for that back end program. And if you build that up to 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, 40 people, you're gonna be stacking up tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands in monthly recurring revenue, working with the best people from your audience in a really leveraged way. And if you're really selective about who you work with, you're gonna have a hell of a lot of fun. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps you if you run a back-end program or you wanna run a back-end program. That will help you build it out. If you want my help with it, head over to jacobcaris.com. You can apply for the Inner Circle, or you can get in touch with the team over there and we can see how we might be able to help you out. Subscribe to the channel, give the video a like, share it if you think you know anybody that might get some value from it, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Cheers.